These aircraft are flying right now, over your country, over hostile territory, over places no pilot would survive. You will never see them on radar, because that is exactly what they were built for. Every government has drones. It doesn't officially operate. Programs that don't appear in any budget. Aircraft that don't exist on any registry. Until they crash. Until they're captured. Until someone leaks a photograph that the government spends years explaining away. From the Cold War to conflicts happening right now, every major military power operates aircraft it has never publicly acknowledged. Some were classified for decades. Some are classified right now. And some were only revealed because an enemy found them first. The Lockheed D-21 solved a problem the SR-71 couldn't. The SR-71 was fast enough to survive any threat. But its pilots were not expendable. The D-21 was launched from the back of a Blackbird at Mach 3 and 80,000 feet. It would fly deeper into Chinese airspace than any crewed aircraft could safely go. Photograph the nuclear test sites at Lop Nur, eject the film canister into the Pacific for recovery, and destroy itself. 4 missions were flown between 1969 and 1971. The first drone was lost over China. The second mission's film canister was missed by the recovery aircraft and sank to the bottom of the ocean. The third drone was lost over China. The fourth drone was lost over China. The wreckage of the first mission is currently on display in a military museum in Beijing. The Chinese have been showing it to visitors for decades. The program was canceled in 1971. 0 successful reconnaissance missions. The most advanced drone program of its era produced 4 crashes and 1 exhibit in an enemy country's museum. The Boeing Bird of Prey flew for 8 years over the Nevada desert before anyone outside a classified program knew it existed. 38 test flights between 1996 and 1999. Stealth geometry so unconventional that witnesses on the ground who saw it in daylight filed UFO reports. Boeing was aware of every sighting. They logged them. They used them as confirmation that the aircraft's visual signature was sufficiently unusual to generate confusion in civilian observers. In other words, they used UFO reports as evidence the stealth was working. The program was declassified in 2002. The aircraft is now on public display. The technologies it tested were transferred into programs that remain classified. The UFO reports it generated are still in the files. They were never corrected. The people who filed them were never told what they actually saw. The RQ-3 DarkStar was built by Lockheed's Skunk Works, the same division responsible for the U-2, the SR-71, and the F-117. Everything they touched became classified. Everything they built became legendary. In April 1996, Lockheed made an unusual decision. They invited press, military officials, and defense contractors to watch the second test flight. Publicly, on the record, with cameras, the aircraft crashed on takeoff, in front of everyone. The program limped forward for 3 more years before being canceled in 1999. The crash footage captured by multiple cameras at a public event has never been officially released by the U.S. government. The DarkStar was the most public failure in the history of classified aviation. A stealth aircraft that couldn't hide from the cameras invited to watch it fly. In 2009, an amateur photographer at Kandahar Air Base took a photograph of an aircraft parked on the tarmac that nobody could identify. Aviation analysts called it the Beast of Kandahar. The Air Force said nothing for 2 years. In December 2011, Iran announced it had captured an intact American stealth drone over Iranian airspace. The United States government confirmed the aircraft was theirs and formally requested its return. Iran declined. The drone was displayed on Iranian state television, completely intact. Iran claimed they had hacked its GPS navigation and guided it to land inside their territory. The U.S. never publicly confirmed or denied this. What happened next was not classified. China and Russia were both given access to physically inspect the captured aircraft. Both countries launched their own stealth drone programs within 2 years of that inspection. The RQ-170 was designed to be invisible. It ended up being studied by every military on Earth that wanted to build one. On July 10, 2013, an aircraft with no pilot, no cockpit, and no human being anywhere near the controls landed on a moving aircraft carrier in the Atlantic Ocean. The X-47B made the decision to land itself. It assessed the carrier's movement, calculated the approach, and placed itself on the deck. If conditions were wrong, it had the authority to abort the landing and go around without asking anyone. The air boss in the carrier's tower watched it happen. He had no ability to intervene if the aircraft decided otherwise. The program was officially described as a demonstrator, a proof of concept. What it demonstrated was that an autonomous combat aircraft could operate from a carrier without a human in the decision loop. The operational successor to the X-47B has never been publicly revealed. The program that replaced it is classified. What is currently flying those missions has not been photographed. The X-47B proved it was possible. Everything built after it was built to be invisible. The Taranis is Britain's answer to a question every Air Force is asking right now. How do you strike a target in defended airspace without risking a pilot? Named after the Celtic god of thunder, it was designed to fly at high speed deep into enemy territory, strike its target with precision weapons, and return without being detected by any radar system currently in service. BAE Systems revealed its existence in 2013 at a press conference with photographs. What they did not reveal was that it had already completed a classified test program in a remote location in Australia. The flights conducted in secret, the location never disclosed, the results never published. The UK government has never confirmed how many Taranis aircraft exist, whether they have been used operationally, or what program replaced the demonstrator. What was revealed in 2013 was the past. What is flying now remains the present, and the present is classified. Russia began developing the S-70 Okhotnik in 2011. The Kremlin denied its existence for 7 years. When it was finally revealed in 2019, it was presented as a wingman for the Su-57 stealth fighter, a 20-ton autonomous combat drone designed to fly into defended airspace, while the Su-57 pilot remains at a safe distance. The concept is straightforward. The Okhotnik carries weapons and sensors into the most dangerous part of the battle space. If it is destroyed, the mission continues. If it survives, it brings back data no crewed aircraft could safely gather. The pilot wins either way. The S-70 was reportedly used in operational missions over Ukraine in 2024. The Russian Ministry of Defense has not acknowledged a single operational flight. What is known is that it exists. What it has done remains classified. How many have been built has never been confirmed. The Okhotnik was designed to fly where pilots cannot. The Kremlin spent 7 years ensuring that nobody knew it could. The RQ-180 is the only aircraft on this list with no confirmed photographs. Not because it doesn't exist, because it has never been seen. Built by Northrop Grumman, the same company that designed the B-2 Spirit. It began operational intelligence flights around 2015, according to reporting from Aviation Week. which is the closest thing to official confirmation the U.S. government has allowed. What it does is classified. Where it flies is classified. How many exist is classified. What is known, it was designed to fly where the U-2 flies, but higher and without a pilot, and invisible to every air defense system currently operated by Russia or China. It is flying right now, over territory that has the most advanced radar and missile systems ever built. Systems specifically designed to find and destroy any aircraft that enters their coverage. Those systems cannot find it. The RQ-180 is the most classified aircraft on this list because it is the most current. Every other program on this list was eventually revealed because it was eventually replaced. The RQ-180 has not been replaced. It is still operating, and the people it flies over do not know it exists, which is exactly what it was designed for. 8 drone programs, 8 governments, 8 aircraft designed to operate where no pilot could survive and no radar could follow. Some were captured, some crashed, some were quietly replaced by something we are not allowed to know about. Every drone on this list was eventually revealed. The ones that weren't are above you right now.